With the topic of mandatory drug testing for welfare recipients, a lot of things can come into play. There's the pros, the cons, and the harms. Today I'm going to talk to you about the harms of mandatory drug testing for welfare recipients and some of the questions that have risen because of this topic. One question is, what are the harms of mandatory drug testing of welfare recipients, and is this type of drug testing considered discrimination? People argue if it is considered discrimination. In reality, it can be. Why? To require everyone in lower socioeconomic classes to take drug testing in order to receive welfare benefits could be considered discrimination against the poor based on the assumption that they are a drug user due to the fact that they don't make a lot of money. That was stated by VisionLaunch.com. Another question is, will drug testing welfare recipients harm children if parents test positive? A statistic from VisionLaunch.com said that up to 80% of people who are on welfare that can work are already working. By requiring drug testing of parents who are on welfare and not receiving direct benefits, there could be a lot of children who won't receive benefits that they may rightly deserve under the law. It definitely can affect a child if a welfare recipient tests positive for drugs. Does drug testing deprive those on welfare the human experience? By limiting what people can or cannot do just to receive a welfare benefit, some may see this as a limitation of the human experience. By weighing the pros and cons of drug testing for welfare recipients, each community can decide if it is the right course of action. To drug test. Every drug test is going to have a specific cost associated with it. That was also stated by VisionLaunch.com. Does mandatory drug testing violate a welfare recipient's constitutional rights? People argue if it is fair. At some point in our lives, everyone has to take a drug test, no matter if it's to get a job, or to go to college, or to join the military. At some point in our lives, we're going to have to take a drug test. Welfare recipients should be held to those same standards. And therefore, by definition, it is not considered violating the constitutional rights, especially a welfare recipient. Do all welfare recipients get drug tested, and will children receive welfare benefits if their parents fail a drug test? Many people worry that taking away welfare benefits due to an adult failing a urine analysis only makes that household suffer more poverty. It can mean children in that household aren't going to get their basic needs met. It can also mean that adults will turn to illegal activities in order to pay for their families and their children's. Does taking away welfare benefits make the household suffer more poverty? It does, because a lot of people live off just welfare, and taking that away will bring them greater turmoil and poverty. But the one thing that they can do in order for that to not happen is to just stay away from the drugs and just to pass the urine analysis or any type of drug test. And those are just a few questions that have come into play from this topic of mandatory drug testing for welfare recipients.